All right, you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. Today, I am going to be doing my makeup. I've first got to take everything here off and then redo my makeup. And I'm also going to be talking about some things that I wish I knew when I first started my fitness journey. There are so many things, and I've done a similar video about this before, but I think there are so many things that I've learned since then that I really want to share with you. I think this would be a really nice therapeutic little video while I do my makeup. First things first, I'm gonna take this off. I'm also gonna be showing you guys the products that I am using because I'm not sure if you follow me on Instagram. If you don't, you should. But I do get a lot of requests to talk about kind of my makeup routine and what I use on my face. I'm gonna do that. I need to grab my makeup remover. Give me 1 second. Also, this is my little closet room. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do a home tour, and I don't think I'm gonna do a full home tour just because I wanna kind of keep things a little bit more private compared to last time. I love my new home and everything. Also, I'm using Rice Water Bright makeup wipes. I love facial wipes. I honestly think they're the easiest thing to use when it comes to removing your makeup. So I'm using these. I'm not sure if you guys can see it right there. But anyway, look at that. Look at that. Do you see all the gunk? All the gunk in my face. What was I talking about? Yeah, so I'm not gonna do a full-on home tour just because I want to keep things a little bit more private this time around. Obviously, you guys will see it in my content. This is my little closet room. I have like a little closet thing here that I got from IKEA. It's really cool because on IKEA, you can actually like build your own closet. So I could have made this bigger if I wanted to, smaller. You can add doors, handles, anything you want. And then I have my little vanity here as well. So anyway, I'm gonna be talking about some things I wish that I knew in my fitness journey just because I feel like I've learned so freaking much since then, and I want to share it with you. I have them written down just to make sure I don't forget anything, so don't mind me if I'm looking to the side here. Number one, I think the one thing that I really wish I knew at the very beginning is that progress takes so much more time than you think. People, like, I was always someone that was on social media and I would see these like crazy 3-month transformations, 4-month transformation, 2-month transformations, and be like, why am I not seeing the progress that I want to see in such a short period of time? Because ideally, like, you know, you don't want to be spending months and months and years on seeing progress. Like, you would, you know, you want to see the results as soon as possible, but that's just really not the case if you want to do it in a sustainable way. And I've learned that seeing these, you know, really short transformations where they only spent like 3-4 months, they probably did something extremely unsustainable, such as cutting their carbs out, or they did like hours and hours of cardio. And that's just not something that I was open to doing because I love my carbs and I don't love doing hours of cardio. So doing it in a sustainable way is going to take you quite a bit of time. I think for me personally, like, I saw my biggest transformation, like the craziest transformation, I would say after like maybe 3 years. After 3 years, I started seeing like actual definition. Sorry, I forgot to tell you the moisturizer I'm using, The Ordinary. I really like this stuff. Yeah, the craziest transformation I had was after 3 years. That's when I really started like seeing definition in my abs. I started seeing like more definition in my legs and my arms. My arms especially, like those took so long to actually see like some sort of muscle definition. So don't believe everything that you see on social media because you really never know what these people did to get there. I'm gonna be so honest as well. Like, a lot of people are taking steroids and they aren't going to tell you, they're not going to talk to you about it, but there are a lot of girls that take things to enhance their bodies, and it's not things that are sustainable or safe or ideal at all. Like, you can still make a crazy transformation. You can really see amazing results if you do things naturally, but you have to be okay with it taking more time. I always say that give it 4 months of straight consistency where you're consistently following a workout routine, you're consistently following great diet as best as you can for 4 months, and you will really start start to see some significant change. I find that people tend to give up at that 2-month mark, and that's why people don't see results. They go at it for 2 months and they're like, you know what, I haven't seen anything, so I'm just going to stop because this isn't worth it. And that's why people don't see results. They stop at that 2-month mark. So just keep pushing. I'm being so serious. Give yourself 4 months of straight consistency and you will see some changes in your physique. I am using the the Giorgio Armani concealer. This is the Perfect Glow concealer. I love it. I only really wear concealer. I don't wear foundation anymore just because I find I don't really need it. It's really heavy on my face and I'm really only working out ever. So just a little bit of concealer under my nose here and my chin. I have a little pimple here up above my lip, so we're gonna do something with that and then just cover my spots. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Okay, next one. This is a good one. The scale. So I used to kind of determine all of my progress based on what the scale had told me. And when I first started my fitness journey, the scale was like really my only way of measuring my progress. It was really exciting seeing the scale dropping every so often, but there were so many moments where it wouldn't move. And I'm like, am I seeing progress? Am I making changes? I don't know, but I feel like my clothes do fit differently. I feel like I actually do look different. This is something I talk about so much, but you really don't want to just use the scale as your measure of progress, because with body composition, when you're someone that is also lifting weights and, you know, trying to lose fat, muscle weighs so much more than fat, and the scale unfortunately is just not going to tell you how much muscle versus fat you have. You could have put on 3 pounds of muscle, but on the scale it's gonna say you gained 3 pounds and you start to freak out. Yes, the scale is really good if you're on like a strict cardio program and the intention is strictly just to lose fat, not put on muscle. But if you're someone that's lifting weights, which I recommend you do when you want to lose fat to get that definition that you want, then you really don't want to be just measuring your progress from the scale. You'll see how your clothes fit you differently. See how much stronger you're at in the gym. Like, are you lifting heavier than you did 2-3 weeks ago? Because that is progress. Are you finding that you look different in the mirror? Like you're seeing a little bit definition, because that is progress. So I think one thing I really wish I instilled in my head is not to freak out over the scale. I was someone that if I didn't see the scale drop every week, I would literally freak out. And now I'm at a point where I literally don't even weigh myself. I have an idea of how much I weigh, but I'm just basing my progress on how much stronger I'm getting, if I'm starting to see more definition in my physique right now, and how I personally feel in my clothes. Like, I just stopped using the scale because it's just not mentally the best idea when you're on a fitness journey. In my opinion, you can use it once in a while just to kind of see where you're at, but it is not the only way of measuring your progress. Okay, this is a good one. First, I'm going to show you what I'm going to put now that my concealer's on. I'm using the Hoola Benefit. I'm using the Hoola Benefit bronzer. This is the only bronzer I use. I literally love it. Here you go. It's so good. Look, it's almost done. That's how much I love it. But anyway, you do not, or you should not, be in a caloric deficit forever. Hell no, hell no, hell no. Because your body, let's say you go on a caloric deficit, right? And it's been 3-4 months. At a certain point, your body is going to adapt to the amount of calories that you're eating, right? Your body gets used to it. You have to think of your body as like, it is not just trying to be skinny, it is trying to survive. So when your body starts to adapt to the amount of calories that you're eating, at some point it's gonna stop. Your metabolism is gonna basically slow down and you're gonna stop making progress. Once you complete your 4-month caloric deficit, or when you've hit a point where you feel like you have plateaued, I highly recommend you start to increase your calories, okay? Now, this sounds a little bit counterintuitive, right? Because you're still trying to lose fat, but at some point, you know, you kind of want to give your body a bit of a reset. So what I always suggest, and even with my clients, is that let's say they're on 4 months of being in a caloric deficit, then I start to increase their calories. And I do it very slowly. Like, I'm not just gonna pile on like 600 extra calories, because then you're gonna start to get that unwanted fat. But how I do it is we slowly start to increase calories, maybe like 100 calories per week until they hit their maintenance calories, okay? So maintenance calories, you can still see some pretty incredible progress, but it kind of just gives your body that reset. And then once you complete those 3 to 4 months, which by the way, during that time, you could still be losing fat, you go back into a deficit and you cut your calories again. Do not be in a caloric deficit forever, because that is what's going to plateau you. During your maintenance phase, you still want to make sure that you're progressively overloading, you're hitting your protein intake, you're challenging yourself in the gym, right? So it's really, really important to not be in a deficit for too long. I used to think that if I wanted to hit a certain weight, that I would just have to stick to a deficit for years and years and years, but that really isn't the case, because your body will start to slow down and you're not going to see any changes and you're going to start to plateau, which we don't want. So once you've hit a plateau, I would suggest increasing your calories slightly or adjusting your macros in some way. Either you can like increase your protein intake a little bit more, but I would suggest overall increase your calories slightly so that your body gets a little bit of a reset. This one. So I was, like I said, I was always someone that was like heavily on social media, and before I really knew much about fitness, I would just like do freaking Instagram workouts. I'd find my favorite influencer and I'd pick a workout and just do it, and it would be different every single week. Now the problem with doing that, by the way, I'm using for my blush the YSL Make Me Blush. I actually got this as PR and it's freaking gorgeous. She is stunning. But there's no structure when you are doing random workouts, right? Like if you're changing up your workouts every single week, you're trying something new every single week, it is really hard for your body to actually progress. How are you supposed to know that you're getting stronger in a squat, for example, if you squat 1 week and then you don't do a squat for another 3-4 weeks? That is so much time in between that you could be making progress, but you just don't know because you're not repeating the exercises. When I post my workouts on social media, I'm literally doing the same things every single week. The only difference is that either I'm progressively overloading, where I'm either increasing the amount of weight that I'm doing, or I'm decreasing my tempo, like I'm going a lot slower with my tempo, I'm taking less rest times, I'm doing more reps. The idea of progressive overload is thinking that all you're doing is you're just making that exercise harder. It doesn't always mean you have to increase the weight. Yes, that will really help, but let's say I squatted 140 1 week and next week I feel like I can't squat 150 yet, like I'm not there yet, then I'll just make sure every rep is a little bit slower to make it harder, right? So the idea is to stick to the basic exercises, have a plan. Don't be doing influencer workouts from Instagram consistently, because it's just gonna be really hard to see if you're actually progressing and if you're actually getting stronger. Create your own plan, hire a coach, I don't know, but just make sure you're not doing random little workouts that you find on IG, because you don't even know if they're actually doing them. As someone who's a fitness influencer, yes, I post my workouts, but sometimes I'll be like, this is a really great ab workout that you can do, but it's not for every single person, if that makes sense. Like it's not meant for everybody to do. My suggestion is get your own plan, okay? Figure out your own plan, because it's really hard to measure progress otherwise. I think I put too much blush, I don't know. Next one. I used to think that the more workouts that I did, the better my results are gonna be, or the more exercises I did. By the way, I'm using the Tarte Tubing Mascara. There we go. Love this stuff. This is really good. It's in brown, by the way. I really like brown mascara. But yeah, anyway, I used to think that doing more exercises in a session were going to be more beneficial for me, when really that's not the case. I always suggest at least 4 to 6 exercises, especially if you're doing something like glutes. You want to have like at least 3 compound exercises in your routine, and then the others can be more single leg or more accessory work. More does not necessarily mean better. It is so much better for you to cut down the amount of exercises that you're doing and making sure you're focusing on every single rep and every single set. I am very, very intentional with every rep that I do. Like I just make sure that every rep looks the same. I'm connecting my mind to my muscle, and that takes a lot of time. Like, it really does take a lot of time when you're very intentional with every single rep. So more exercises does not mean that you're going to get a better workout. It's really about how you move. It's really about your form at the end of the day. If you're really using that mind to muscle connection, which by the way is my next point, is massive. And I didn't realize this until later on. I used to, by the way, I'm using the Huda Beauty Rich Brown lip liner. I think it's actually an eyeliner, or like a eyebrow pencil, but I use it for my lips. I love it. What was I saying? I have the worst memory. Mind to muscle connection. Mind to muscle connection is extremely, extremely important. I'm just looking at the mirror, by the way. I used to kind of go to the gym and just go through the motion. Like, I'd just be like, okay, I just need to get this workout in, do my squats, do my lunges, but I wasn't really thinking about every single rep that I was doing or where I should be feeling it. I just kind of was literally going through the motion. I don't know what I was thinking about, but now I go into the gym being like, okay, this is like a shift. I'm going into my shift today and I have to focus and make sure that I'm really feeling it where I'm supposed to be feeling it. I would never do a hip thrust and just go through the motion. Now I'm going through the motion being like, okay, I need to make sure my back is neutral, my chin is slightly tucked in, and I'm counting in my head on the way up. So I'd be like 3, 2, 1. Okay, I gotta hold it here. I gotta squeeze as tight as I can. Really think about using my glutes during the movement, and now I'm gonna slowly lower it. Like, I'm constantly talking to myself while I do every single rep, because it burns 10 times more. If you really take advantage of this mind to muscle connection, I'm telling you, this is one of the greatest secrets of all time when it comes to seeing gains and seeing progress, is using your mind and making sure you're connecting it to your muscle. I can't talk when I do my upper lip, so give me a second. Mind to muscle connection, don't forget. Another one, okay. So I was someone that actually used to be extremely, extremely intimidated in the gym. Like, I would see these like insanely gorgeous girls with the craziest bodies, and I'm like, how the hell do I look like that? Like, how am I ever going to look like that? And I would be someone that I would compare myself a lot to the girls that I would see in the gym. Even now, I'm gonna be so transparent, like, it's hard not to compare yourself to other people because of social media and, you know, like seeing like what the ideal body is. Like, people are starting to make posts about the ideal body and being skinny and having like crazy glutes. Like, it is actually so freaking overwhelming. I'm not even gonna lie. Every day I have been trying to work on it, and I think it's gotten so much better now than it used to be. And, you know, from someone who actually used to be a little bit on the overweight side, those thoughts are still in my head. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, like I'm, you know, the fittest girl ever. Like, it's really not that. Like, I still have my insecurities 150%. Like, I really, really do. And it is so hard when there's so many like fit girls and they look absolutely incredible, but comparing yourself to other people is not going to speed up your progress. It really, really isn't. The most important thing that you really want to focus on is focusing on your own path and staying in your own lane. Do not worry about what's going on around you. Do not be intimidated going into the gym, because everyone, including those beautiful, gorgeous, fit girls, started where you were at some point in their life, and they decided to stay consistent and make some pretty incredible changes. And that can be you too. That really, really can be you. The worst thing that you can do is compare yourself, because then you're going to find that your progress you're not making progress. You're going to feel that way. You're going to feel like you're trying, but you still don't look like that girl, right? So really focus on what you're doing, how you can improve, and how you're gonna see that progress, instead of being like, oh, I wish I looked like her, because that's not gonna do you any good. I promise you that. It's really, really not. Now, I am going to dabble on some of this YSL Love Shine Plumping Lip Oil. Once again, this was a PR package. I did not buy this, but it is gorgeous. And I just like to dab it on my lips. Like, I don't like to smear it on because I feel like it could be a little bit much, but I'm just like, dab it, and it does like plump your lips, so you will feel it. Okay, this is a really good one. I didn't realize the mental glow up that would happen when I'm in a fitness journey. And I was someone that was so focused on, you know, seeing the physical changes, as most people are. But as I went through this journey, I realized how I've completely changed mentally, where I'm more confident in who I am. I'm more confident in the decisions that I do make, because being in a fitness journey requires a lot of discipline. Like, discipline is so easy when life is so calm, it's easy, nothing is really going on. Discipline is when your life is freaking chaotic and hectic and busy and so much is going on, but you still prioritize a workout at the beginning of the day so that you kind of check it off your list. That's what real discipline is. It's doing things despite the craziness and the chaos of your life. And that's something that I did realize. Like, I've said this before, discipline is very easy when nothing is really going on. But, you know, telling yourself constantly, no, I have to do this because I have goals to chase, has actually changed me as a person and in everything that I do in my life and things that I want to do. Nothing is going to happen for you if you don't work for it. If you want something, you have to work for it. And that's something that I've really instilled in my head. Like, you can't just get what you want. That is not how life works. After, you know, all these years of being disciplined and staying on track and being consistent with myself, I feel like that I can be consistent or get what I want with anything. I really do. I feel like I could get whatever I want as long as that I know I have to work on it to get there. For example, I did a 10K race and I wanted to hit under 50 minutes. I was a little bit like, I was pretty confident that I would get there, but you have to put in the work to get there. Like, it's not like anyone can be like, oh, I'm gonna make sure that I hit under 50 minutes at this 10K race. You have to work for it. You have to get there. And even during that race, I was really pushing myself to make sure that I got it, right? You can't just manifest and say these things and say that you want these things, or I want a good body, I want to be fit, I want to have a big butt, and then not do anything about it. That's not how it works, and that's not how manifestation works. I do believe in manifestation, but you have to actually put in an effort to get there. As hard as this journey is, you gain so much more than just a physical body. You gain a lot of mental clarity, you gain a lot of discipline, you gain a lot of confidence because you're proving to yourself that you can actually do something. Okay, this one, I think I speak about this one in every single YouTube video, but I will finish off with it because I do think it's important. Waiting for motivation is the worst idea that you can do. You can't be waiting for it. And like I said, it is very easy to get things done when your life isn't chaotic or when things don't come up. It's so easy to stay on track. It's so easy to get your workout in. You are not going to be motivated when you have 50 things going on already. But it's about prioritizing what you actually want, and you going to the gym to move your body should be a priority. Moving your body is insanely important, and it's not just because of you getting in shape, it's because it's gonna help you live a lot longer, and you're gonna be able to play with your grandkids one day because you're in good shape. Like, that's really why you should be moving your body. And I know social media has kind of twisted it in a way where move your body to look this way, but it's like you should move your body to feel this way. Like, you are able to carry your groceries from point A to point B with no man helping you. You know what I mean? So you cannot wait for motivation to come, because that is not going to help you stick to your routine long term. I would say 50% of the times that I go to the gym, I am never motivated, ever. But I still go because it's part of my routine. I told myself I have these goals, and I know that I have to be consistent, and I know that I have to put in the work to get there. Throw motivation out the window. Tell yourself you're going to the fucking gym today, whether you like it or not, and you will continue to see that progress. Give yourself 4 months. Just like I said earlier, 4 months of straight consistency. You're following your workouts, you're following your diet, you're following, not even diet, just healthy eating. You're following, you know, your protein, your carbs, your fats. You're getting your sleep in. Sleep is insanely important on a fitness journey. That's also something that I wish I told myself earlier. Getting at least 7 to 8 hours is your room for recovery. That's really when you start to see the results. Get your sleep in, get your water in, stay hydrated. That'll keep your energy levels up so that you crush your workouts. and just believe in yourself and stay patient, because you got this. If someone like me can do it, I promise you, I did not do anything crazy. I did not do anything special. I just stuck to a sustainable routine that works for me, and I ended up seeing results. And yes, it took me a long time, but not once did you see me cut carbs. Not once did you see me doing hours and hours of cardio. I just stuck to a routine for a consistent period of time, a schedule that works for me and my lifestyle, and here we are. I really hope that was helpful. I know I babbled a lot. Makeup is done. I'm actually gonna go see a friend. Later, we're gonna go on a little walk, but I really hope you enjoyed this little video. I will see you guys next Wednesday, but if you haven't already, make sure to comment on the video your thoughts. I love reading your YouTube comments. Make sure to like the video to help support me, and subscribe if you haven't already, because you guys will get to see my Wednesday weekly uploads first. Also, if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's Workout with Gina. Make sure to follow me on there. But I hope you guys have a lovely night and a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you next Wednesday.